Everything I've loved in this world, and even the curse that fell on me too.
Hello everybody, Infernape Shinjo here. Welcome to another tier list, and today I am here with a very tall order. I am going to put my nostalgia to the test. I am going to rank, as they say up here, a bunch of cartoons you might have grown up with. More cartoons may be added over time. Some are currently running. Anime is not included. It's all nostalgia. A large majority of this I watched when I was a kid, so this is gonna be kind of rough for me. Of course, I can guarantee that there are a lot of shows that you guys don't know from here, so yeah, I'm just going to I modified this tier list a little bit. I'm just going to go over a couple of them quick. Obviously, the haven't seen tier is shows that I haven't seen anything about. No opinion is stuff that I've seen clips of, but I can't make a solid opinion about it. So that's the main difference between these two. So 138 different shows here, by the way, so that's why I'm kind of like whizzing by them. So we're just going in. Teen Titans, the original. I'm probably gonna change these around later on, but I think it's gonna start in B tier. I might change it later on, but I'm gonna start high B tier. I think it might be A tier if it wouldn't have ended on a cliffhanger. Invader Zim, it's good, but like it never really had a solid conclusion. So just like Teen Titans, I'm gonna put that in B tier. Two Stupid Dogs, from what I remember, it didn't really have much of a plot, so I'm gonna put it C tier. Cat Dog, looking back on it, it wasn't as good as I remember. Grim and Evil, oh my gosh. I'm gonna put Grim and Evil in C tier. I think later on down the line, if the regular Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy will be here, then that might influence decisions. Sheep in the Big City. Oh, I remember vividly liking this show, but I don't remember much of it. I think the fact that they break the fourth wall so often means I gotta put it above Two Stupid Dogs. And that's the thing I like with Pokemon with Team Rocket, because they always break the fourth wall. I might have to shrink this screen a little bit more. Mucha Lucha. Oh, this is bringing me back. I love Mucha Lucha. That was one of those shows that I feel upset that I missed it on my top 10 cartoons list. At the same time, from what I remember, they did change the voices halfway through a season or something. That was kind of jarring for me. But regardless, it was still a good show. I'm putting it in C tier. Oh, dude, Magic School Bus. No joke. Magic School Bus was actually pretty cool. Do I really want to rank it in the same tier as the Teen Titans and Invader Zim? Kinda. That theme song, though. That theme song for the Magic School Bus is just a bop. Dude, that was really cool back in the day. Let's see. Cow and Chicken? Yeah, it's Cow and Chicken. Back in the day, it was one of those shows that my parents didn't want us to watch, which I can definitely understand why in hindsight. But I mean, I don't want to put everything in no opinion and haven't seen, so Cow and Chicken, it's humor, but it's kind of lowbrow humor from what I remember. So I'm putting that in D tier. At the same time, I'm not entirely familiar with all of these shows, so these aren't exactly going to be logical opinions, but I'm not here to talk about logic. Animaniacs, I think if it wasn't for the reboot, it might be like B, maybe even C. I think at the moment, with the reboot actually breathing new life into it, B tier seemed fair. I shrank the screen a little bit more just to make it easier for me to sort through this tier list. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I think that was a show that my brother and I watched back in the day. I don't remember. At the moment, if it is, I'm gonna put it in C tier, because I remember really liking that theme song. If it's not the right one, then whatever. Oh, dude, Courage? Courage is an A tier. Courage is really cool. It was just so wild with the stuff that they could get away with on Courage and all of the different art styles that they did. Dude, that was really cool back in the day. Cubics, this is just like another show that's gonna be on this list later that it's just one of those shows that's in the back of my mind that I just randomly think of from time to time. But I'm gonna put it in D tier because I don't remember it enough to give a logical opinion. Dexter, I think I'm gonna put Dexter and Scooby-Doo into B tier. Dexter was good for its time, but I don't know. It's one of those shows that I really remember liking, so B tier isn't really insulting, but at the same time, it's just there. At the same time, it started Gendy Tartakovsky making shows, so that's a plus. But Scooby-Doo, I think if Scooby-Doo would have just stopped with all the stuff that it was doing, but it just kept on coming back, it kind of overstayed its welcome in my opinion. I'm putting Captain Planet in like a high D. Nope, things are trying to move. We need to move The Simpsons back down and move Captain Planet up. Right there. Because it had its heart in the right place, trying to like talk about stuff that's going on in the world or whatever. But it did seem kind of like cheesy in a way. I know this is going to be hard for you guys to see at first, but this is the easiest way that I can get everything sorted out. So the Powerpuff Girls, it was good actually. But at the same time, back when I was a kid, it was one of those things where you can't really say, oh, I like the Powerpuff Girls because it's for girls. But now I feel like it's one of those things where it's more widely accepted that people liked the Powerpuff Girls. It was just a good show, and unfortunately, people could argue that it did get kind of botched with the newer one. But for its time, I'll put it in B tier as well, alongside the other stuff that I already put there. So up next we have, oh yeah, I think what I'm gonna do for the tier list is just like put everything in the tiers that they belong, and then from A decide what's gonna go in S tier. I feel like that'd be easier. Rocket Power. Oh, that was one of those shows I remember watching back in the day, but looking back, it didn't really age that well because it's more just like, bro, beach slang, surf's up, bro. It does get kind of repetitive, but yeah, actually, to be fair, now that I'm looking at this list again, I can't really talk about Flapjack enough. I know of it, but that's basically it. And Mike, Lou, and Og, that again is another show that's just ingrained in my memory that I just forgot about until now. But actually, what I might do, I'll think about it. Are Real Monsters, I think it's going to go, I mean, I remember of it, but I don't remember watching it consistently. I'm gonna put it low D, alongside Chip and Dale. Okay, so I've made some changes. So what I decided to do is put everything that I don't want to rank, just keep it down here. I'm pretty sure that's everything down below here that I don't really want to rank. Yeah, because it just seemed too cluttered up there. And the way it looks now, it just looks better in my opinion. Let's get back to the tier list now, shall we? So, Hi Puffy Ami Yumi. I feel like it makes so much sense to put it right next to Teen Titans because Hi Puffy Ami Yumi is based off of the Japanese celebrities with the same names, and they perform the Teen Titans theme song. What I really like about the Teen Titans theme song and Hi Puffy Ami Yumi is even though they're not part of the same universe, it kind of feels like they are. And as well, I love how in some episodes of Teen Titans, the Hi Puffy Ami Yumi sings the Japanese version of it. I think that was my gateway into anime. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. SpongeBob. SpongeBob has definitely had a rough ride, that's for sure. Some people don't like modern SpongeBob, some people don't care. I think just the fact that I still quote SpongeBob to this day, that it's gonna go in A tier. But that's only based off of the stuff that I remember watching. I haven't seen a lot of the more recent stuff, so it might go down lower if I would, but who can tell? Wild Thornberrys, I think Wild Thornberrys is B. Because it was a good show, but up against like SpongeBob and Courage, which have wild concepts, while Thornberrys is kind of just like normal, even though the main girl can talk to animals, but you know, it's kind of average. Actually, speaking about average, Arnold, Hey Arnold is right here. So I'll put it right next to Wild Thornberrys. There were 2 shows on Nick that I never really watched back in the day, but I do remember some of. Like, dude, Stoop Kid never left the stoop. But moving on. Jimmy Neutron. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to put it above Magic School Bus. Because what makes Jimmy Neutron better, in a way, is that it has good comedy, first of all. Sheen is definitely a good character, even though I noticed that Planet Sheen isn't on here, but whatever. But it's like Magic School Bus, where you're trying to learn something from it, but it doesn't beat you over the head with it like Magic School Bus sometimes might. Dude, the only reason I kept Code Lyoko on here is because of the opening. I have not seen any of the show whatsoever. So, from the opening alone, it's going high C tier. Where is it? It's not moving. I'm trying to put you, there you go. Timon and Pumbaa, oh dude, Timon and Pumbaa, I've never watched the show, but the opening just being Hakuna Matata is just amazing. I'm gonna put that in C tier. Tom and Jerry, I think Tom and Jerry, as well as the Looney Tunes, whenever I can find them, are gonna go in B tier. Because those were 2 shows I remember watching a lot of back in the day. So I feel like just that alone is good enough for me. Fairly Odd Parents, yikes. Do I need to touch this one? I don't really want to, but it's part of the tier list. So, taking out everything involving the actual creator of the show, it was a good show. Although, it did go downhill when it started adding more characters, which is probably not an unpopular opinion. Where SpongeBob, I remember quoting a lot more SpongeBob to this day, I think Fairly Odd Parents is going to go... Actually, yeah, let's put it right next to Jimmy Neutron. They had a crossover, it makes sense. Johnny Bravo. Oh, dude, I hit my mic. I talked about how Cow and Chicken didn't age that well. Johnny Bravo aged like milk. My gosh. The fact that Johnny Bravo is just all over these girls in a lot of shows, a lot of episodes, it's not a good look. But I do remember liking it more than Cow and Chicken, so I'm putting it there. Fosters. Fosters is an easy A tier. I love Fosters. Dude, Cheese, absolutely the best character on the show. I might be joking, I might not be joking. You'd have to watch the show to find out. Camp Lazlo, and yes, I am avoiding these 3 at the very top because I can't talk about them enough. Or I can't have enough to talk about with them. Camp Lazlo is Nickelodeon's, nope, is Cartoon Network's answer to SpongeBob on Nickelodeon. You can't tell me that it isn't. SpongeBob and Lazlo are so similar, and then, what's his name? Edward in Camp Lazlo is basically Squidward. Their names even sound similar. You can't tell me that it's not all planned out. But I don't know. It's weird because where SpongeBob kind of had a little bit of a rough patch for a time, I felt like Camp Lazlo never really had that. Although again, it's been a while since I've seen it. I think I might either have to put Camp Lazlo beside SpongeBob or above it. But I feel like I'd be insulting Steven Hillenburg if I put Camp Lazlo above SpongeBob. So I think Camp Lazlo's just gonna stay right there in A tier. I feel like that's fair. Peanuts. The Peanuts, I'm only gonna be judging the specials, like Christmas, Halloween, whatever's, because I haven't watched the actual shows enough. Peanuts is actually really good, in my opinion. But I'm gonna put it in B tier, right in the middle of the road. I know a lot of people probably don't watch it each year like we do for Christmas and Halloween and whatever, but it was still good. Kids Next Door, dude, Kids Next Door, it's going high B tier. No, you know what? See, I want to put it above Teen Titans, but I also want to put it below Teen Titans. Although at the same time, I'm realizing that both shows never really had a good wrap-up. So, I feel like putting them right beside each other makes sense. A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, I remember watching this, but not a lot of it. I remember the theme song. The theme song's really catchy, so I'm putting it right next to Timon and Pumbaa because that just makes sense. Robot Jones. Dude, I was talking about underground shows. Dude, whatever happened to Robot Jones is the title of the show. But I'm also wondering what legitimately happened to Robot Jones. It was a show that just came and went and nobody ever talks about it. I'm gonna put it above Cubics because it's one of those ones where it has the whole robot aesthetic, so that kind of makes it sense that it's right beside it. Rugrats, I don't remember watching as much Rugrats. I'm gonna put Rugrats in B tier. Rugrats in B tier seems fair. Oh no, wait, this is the actual first Sonic cartoon, right? I know there are other Sonic cartoons, like the one, what's it called? Sonic Sat AM? I think this is the first one where there's like no plot or whatever. So I can't really judge that one. Dude, Schoolhouse Rock, B tier. I don't remember much of Schoolhouse Rock. I would probably remember it if I just listened to songs, get nostalgic and whatever, but I remember it back in school. And finally up, Ed, and Eddie. And there's no better spot than SpongeBob. You're ruining the moment. There is no better spot for Ed, and Eddie than S tier. Ed, and Eddie is a good show. It is a great show even. Although, to be fair, it did lose a little bit of its charm when they started going to school. But compared to everything else in A tier, I feel like Ed, and Eddie in S tier makes sense. Although I realized that I said I was going to put everything in A tier and then sort it out later. But, you know, I'm playing this by the book. Or by my own rules. So I think that covers everything that I can actually rank without insulting people. Because I haven't watched Freakazoid, I haven't watched Flapjack, Total Drama, Dora. I mean, I could rank Dora. It would probably go in D tier, but like, I don't want to rank shows that I don't remember watching a lot of back in the day. Even though I did that with shows like Rugrats and Robot Jones and Mucha Lucha, but you know, I feel like this is a pretty decent tier list. I didn't rank everything, but you know, all of these shows down here, I'm just not going to rank them because I don't remember them enough or haven't watched enough of them. So, yeah, let me know how bad my opinion is. Although I'm realizing now, Grim and Evil was on here, but the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy wasn't. I'm a bit surprised about that. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was actually really good. I remember really liking it. So I think, for the sake that Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy wasn't on here, that I'm bumping it up to B tier. Yeah, works for me. So let me know how many of these shows you actually knew. Let me know if my opinion is right or wrong. And if you enjoy, hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next episode. Momentai.